made me question myself there. You just started laughing. Like, well, I was pretty confident up until you started laughing.
You were. Welcome to MooseCast, I guess. Yeah. Episode number 9. Mm-hmm. You know, I don't want to give too much of a peek behind the curtain. Oh, before we get into that, by the way, I'm Danny. Hi. Project manager here at Moose Roofing, and you are?
I am Cindy, the executive producer. Our producer, Josie, is gone at the time of this recording, but she'll be back. Speaking of being gone at the time of recording,
this would have been recorded a little bit sooner if it wasn't for you bailing on me, by the way.
Yeah.
So we had plans to do this a bit earlier, and I think we're still on schedule in terms of the release schedule, so we're good there. So I'm not going to give you too much flack, but you did, and we're very honest. You're like, I'm not going to do this today. I'm going to go watch Beetlejuice.
Yep.
Okay, now that that's out of the way, what are we talking about today?
We're talking about addicts.
Addicts? Okay. What would you like to know about addicts?
What is their purpose?
Oh, I thought you were talking about like people who are addicted to stuff.
Oh, addicts.
Oh. That joke. Anyway, what are their purpose? Well, if anything, you know, to keep your home nice and dry. No. It is the area, and you won't always have an attic above your head. Even if you have a vaulted ceiling. Do you know what a vaulted ceiling is? You're always going to have some sort of space between the roof deck, the shingles, and then of course the drywall on your ceiling. So that gap is supposed to be a buffer for the elements and the outside unconditioned air, so to speak. So if anything, it's essentially a barrier for stuff like that. Some people can finish their attics and use it for storage, things like that as well. But if we're getting into attics, I'm going to preface this. We won't get too much into insulation today. We're going to get into like the ventilation side of things, which of course, if you've listened to this before, I'm a big proponent of. But when we're talking about the attic side of things, are we talking about, I mean, I know you're talking about what the purpose is, but from a client or a consumer or a homeowner standpoint, are you going to be wondering what you're looking for, what I'm looking for when you get in there? Because believe it or not, you've been on a roof with me,
right? But
you've not been in an attic yet.
Nope. TBD.
Okay. You excited about that?
Actually, I am. Actually, I just said that just because. But I am deathly afraid of spiders. So if I see a freakishly looking creature with 8 legs, I'm out. So either I'm out, I pass out, or anything else that comes along with that.
Yes. How do you feel about bats?
Well, I've never encountered a bat, so I don't know how my reaction will be.
Have you heard Topher's story yet?
No.
We'll get into that. Okay. We'll get into that. But I see here you're saying, what should a textbook attic look like? Dry. You should, if you have an older home, you may not have your traditional cellulose insulation where it's a bunch of white, pillowy, cloudy stuff. But we're just going to say if you do, which most people do have that, even if you do have a whole old home, it's been replaced. You're not going to have the sawdust looking stuff that people would normally have here on these older homes, but cellulose is big, pillowy, looks like you cut open a couch cushion and just dumped it all over your attic there. That type of insulation should be white. It should be absolutely no yellowish color or anything like that. You should have a lot of clean air coming through. If anything, you should feel, if the wind is blowing outside, you should feel some airflow going through there, because honestly, it should only be about a 10-degree difference between what the attic is inside, 10 to maybe 15-degree difference. I'll say that range here between what it is inside the attic to outside. So if you take a look at the underside of the decking, you should see some clean plywood, and of course from whatever your ventilation system is. If you have boxed vents or those turtle vents to a ridge vent, if you take a look at the wood under that, it should be also clean. There should be no wet spots or anything like that. But
question.
Go for it.
You said between like 10 to 15 degree difference.
Yes.
So should the attic be cooler or
if
hotter?
It's summer, it should be cooler for sure. But in the winter, like I said, whatever the variable is, it should only be within 15 degrees difference, hotter or colder at that point.
So depending on the weather.
Yeah, and it's normally always going to be hotter.
Okay.
Anyway, because you have the conditioned air radiating up, because you're going to have your heat radiating up from your home in the winter anyway.
Okay.
So, but once again, if I were to sum it up as to what a textbook attic should look like, clean and dry, for sure, clean and dry. You have your rafters that go up. Make sure that there's no sapping in there. If anything, we'll get into that in terms of like if you as a homeowner want to get up in there and take a look, I'll give you some pointers as to what to look for there, because I don't want to spoil your next questions here that we have. So I want to make sure I'm pacing myself on this whole thing. So where are we at? What's my next question?
The third question.
Ask it.
What are the common problems that homeowners encounter?
So, spots on the ceiling, and I've talked about it before, but I run into a lot of homeowners who it's either one end of the spectrum or the other. I've got a spot on the ceiling. I just noticed it. I'm calling somebody and it is priority number one. Or I've got a spot on the ceiling. It hasn't gotten worse in years, but I didn't think it was that big of a deal. And then of course, another summer, another winter goes by and it's grown by, 5 inches at that point in diameter. So I will always err on the side of if you got a spot, you should not have any sort of spot on your drywall and your ceiling whatsoever. And what is that normally caused by? You've been doing this long enough. What do you think it's caused by?
Moisture.
Yes, absolutely. Moisture.
Wow, you made me question myself there. You just started laughing. Like I was pretty confident up until you started laughing.
You were, and you're not wrong at all. But I was thinking like, a leaky vent or something like that. I thought you were going to be a little bit more specific other than moisture.
Well, I'm saying like a general consensus.
You are right. In the general consensus, you are right. It would be moisture that is going to cause the spot itself, but there's a lot of different things that could lend to that. And there are a lot of things you can look for as a homeowner before it gets to that point. There are so many people. It's so funny. And, who really thinks about this, but actually, you're going to be thinking about this because you're trying to buy a house right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
in the process
of buying a house, bless you, by the way. So most homeowners that I have dealt with here, I would say 90% of them don't even really know what their attic looks like. Like if I show them a photo report after me doing my inspection, they're like, oh, okay, that's neat. And they've never even been up there.
Wow.
But
well, it's hard to get up there sometimes.
It is, for sure. But if I can get up there, I've had to grease myself up and, get a running start a few times. But I think that's going to be a rite of passage for you. We're going to get you in the attic of the house you're going to buy, for sure. We have to. We should film that too.
Oh, yeah. Well, breaking news.
Breaking news?
Yeah. We backed out.
Oh, you backed out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, moving on.
All right. Spoiler alert. She's no longer buying a house, or at least that house. But the one that you want to sign off on, you were killing me today. We just had a conversation not even 30 minutes ago about this, and you're like, oh, yeah.
A lot happens. Yes.
30 minutes. Every minute counted on that one.
I will be buying a house.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, eventually. Well, the market right now, I wish you luck on that front, but we're going to get you in an attic and we'll film that as well. But to go back to, people normally don't get in their attics. They don't really even know what it looks like. So from my perspective here, I want to make sure that I'm giving whomever would want to peek their head up there and brave their own attic. I wouldn't do it right now because it's, oh gosh, it's like 90 something outside, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we were just touching that door over there.
Yeah, this door over here radiates heat. It gets direct sunlight in the afternoon here. But I would say if you as a new homeowner, or if you're just curious right now, you take a peek up there. Some of the things you're going to be looking for. Remember, I was telling you earlier that insulation should be white. If it has yellowed, if it has looks like spotted stains of yellow and things like that, that's actually rusty water. Mm-hmm. And normally what that would be caused by is essentially your attic gaining its own climate and then raining on itself. That normally happens in the winter, and we're going to have another whole big episode on that whenever winter comes. But the idea is, especially if you have bathroom vents that aren't quite venting out of the roof and they're venting directly into the attic, which I've noticed a lot here lately. A lot of these newer build homes have that. Or if you just have insufficient intake, like your side soffits or whatever your intake system is for your ventilation system on your home is, if that is inadequate, if it is blocked by insulation, if the air cannot move, that air is going to have moisture in it, and it is going to freeze in the frigid tundra that we have here in the winter here in Omaha, and that will freeze over on the underside of your decking, and that frost will eventually melt. And then that frost will eventually gather on the nails that are poked through on your decking on the underside in your attic. Those are going to eventually corrode. They're eventually going to rust, and that rusty water will drip all along your and I'm sure you've seen a lot of photos in company cam of that. Yeah, sometimes you'll see it where it's like a consistent over years and years and years. It's like it's drilling out like a yellowy brown hole into your attic at that point, or in the insulation itself. So that would be the first thing. If you pop up, do a quick inspection of your insulation, and if it's any color other than what it was whenever it was first put in there, then you got a problem.
And I hope they paid attention in science, because it kind of goes through like the stages of matter: gas, solid, liquid, and that sort of.
It does. It's its own ecosystem up there, and eventually, if you do nothing about it, you're gonna have that yellowy stain turn into black, and that is mold. So we need to make sure we get ahead of that, because that can be a costly fix of having someone come in, having to do mold mitigation, suck out some of your insulation to replace it then as well. So if you start noticing any sort of yellow spotting up there, it is a good idea to get ahead of that as quickly as possible. Have somebody come out, take a look, and make sure we get that mitigated as to whatever the issue may be. And 9 times out of 10, especially with, like I said, a lot of these, even these modern builds, there was a neighborhood that's being built in Papillion, and I'm not here to disparage any builders out there, but I would say ventilation was at the back of their mind, not quite the forefront whenever they were building these homes. And within a year's time, this past winter that we had, that freeze, it was enough to cause some spots there. But anyway, so if you have any discoloration in your insulation, make sure to get that checked out, preferably by Moose Roofing. And then from there, take a look up if you have rusty nails. That's the one part of that process. If you got rusty nails, if around the nails you see these black areas, we call them raccoon eyes. That's where the water has essentially either come in through where that nail is, through the top, and worked its way around the nail and soaked that wood and molded that wood over, or it's just been gathering around the nail for so long that it's just caused that issue where it has the raccoon eyes there. Because normally those are going to be hand in hand. You're going to have some rusty nails with the raccoon eye around it there. Then from there also, it gets deeper. Those rafters we were talking about before, tree sap.
Yeah,
you'll
I know what
notice
that is.
sapping, right? So you'll notice if you take a look, or it's called ambering as well, we call it sapping. You'll notice along your rafters, those big 2x4s or whatever you have for your rafters there, you're going to see some glistening little droplets kind of stuck to the side of it, and they're going to be kind of hardened over. And that is telling you that you have a really, really hot attic in the summer, and it's essentially getting so hot it's cooking the wood and squeezing the life's blood out of it. You have the sap itself coming out through the pores of this thing, and that is an issue because that will eventually, I mean, it's going to compromise the integrity of the wood itself because it's going to get brittle over time. And of course, if it's going through extreme heat, extreme cold, extreme heat, extreme cold ad nauseum, you're in a situation from there where eventually, it takes a while, don't get me wrong, but eventually we're looking at more than just a roof repair and some attic work. It's going to be some emergency surgery and an actual, structural repair on your rafters at that point. So definitely, if you've got sapping, that's one way to know, okay, you need to take a look at your ventilation system and see what the issue might be. Speaking of ventilation system, your intake, I was speaking about that before. It's so vital that you don't just take a look above at what your turtle vents or your ridge vent or a turbine or a power vent is doing. Take a look at the edges, because normally if you're going to go up there with a flashlight, right? You want to turn that flashlight off and you want to be able to see light coming in from where the roof edge or where the eave is essentially and the soffit is underneath. Because if you can't see light coming through those areas, you probably don't have any air coming through those areas either. So once again, the intake is just as vital as your exhaust is when it comes to your ventilation system, because if that air is not moving, it's going to cause all of the issues that I've already spoken about already. So that is one thing, as crazy as it is, that I see more often than not, is the intake is always a second hand or a tertiary thought in a lot of either builders or even roofers' minds at that point. So the intake being as vital as it is, if you don't have any light coming in there, or in those rafter channels, if you have nothing to separate that insulation from that soffit, i.e. a baffle, you know what a baffle is now, right? She's learning. I love this. So if you don't have a baffle in there, no brainer. You got to get something in there. And I think we've already talked about this before, but those soffit vents on the outside, it's a good idea to get those replaced probably every 5 years, because just by virtue of them having to bring in air, especially with this Nebraska wind, you're going to have debris.
Clogged up.
Occluded big time. So I've gotten off on another well-beaten path here, because I love to bang the ventilation drum quite a bit. But what would be the recommendations to get these issues resolved? Call Moose Roofing. We will be able to explain all of this. Sometimes it's so funny. I was in an attic just absolutely dying, dripping with sweat, and sometimes a homeowner will kind of peek their head up just because they're curious in there. And I was looking at something that I'm like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. So of course I get the illustrious Pat Moose on FaceTime.
Ooh.
And he, of course, as you all know, if you ask him a question, he will want to give you the history of the issue, the dissertation as to how to get it fixed. And normally, with all of his colorful language that he goes through, he'll take about 20 minutes to get there, and you're better for it. Don't get me wrong, but I am up there soaking, and the customer's actually starting to laugh off camera at me, because I'm just, okay, Pat, absolutely. And then whenever we hang up, the customer asked, I'll never forget, she goes, do I have to pay you guys for the lesson as well? But yeah, we love Pat. He saved me quite a few times out of there. I've been in so many situations where I don't even know what I'm looking at. What is this? And he will rattle it off so quickly.
He doesn't want to leave anything out.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And he's big on educating us so we can educate you guys. So, but yeah, just in short, my recommendation to get any issue resolved, Absolutely. Call somebody. If you see any of these red flags that I've just brought up, absolutely give us a call. We'll come out, take a look at it, and get the, remedy priced up essentially, or at least let you know what it would be in terms of getting that taken care of. Now, is there required or recommended maintenance that homeowners should be doing to their attic?
Mm-hmm.
Poking their head up there, you know? It's not really going to be anything you got to, other than if you've got everything else taken care of that we just spoke about, your outside soffit vents, replace those every 5 years. That's you. If you're doing that, you're ahead of, I'd say 100% of everyone, because I don't think anybody does that.
No.
Any scary attic story? So I've told the raccoon story where I saw a bunch of raccoons up there in this home in Lincoln. But didn't even happen to me. But Topher has the nickname now of Batman.
Oh, yeah. I saw that in Randy's office.
Gotcha. Do you know why?
No.
He was bitten by 2 bats.
Wait. I think I heard about this.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, he had to go get rabies shots.
Oh, my goodness.
The whole thing. I felt so
That's
bad.
insane.
I felt so bad. But yeah, I think it was a day he wasn't expecting to have to get into an attic, and he might have been wearing shorts. I'm not sure exactly what was happening there, but normally you don't.
Not recommended.
Yeah, it's not recommended there, but you don't really he didn't really feel it. He just saw it looked like a little vampire bite on him. Aw, rabies. It's adorable. He could have died. It's adorable. No, I'm kidding. It's funny because he said like I didn't feel anything. I just I was kind of feeling weird, and he was like, man. And then I found out that I need to get rabies shots. I'm like, if I'm gonna go out, I want to go out like die into like a bear or something, not like a cute little bat biting me in an attic. But yeah. That would be for me, hearing that is the scariest attic story is oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'd be scared too.
Oh no. I've lost a few things in attics. I know Pat's told me he's lost an earbud or an AirPod in an attic before. I've lost a few things in attics. But when am I going to get you in an attic?
Well, I'm trying to knock a lot of my stuff here in the office out of the way so I can just go out in the field, because I feel like I haven't been out there in a while.
Been a minute.
Yeah, it's been a fat minute. Yeah.
Been a minute. So when are you going to get on it so we can? How about that?
I don't know.
So
I need to check my schedule for next week.
Yeah, because I don't know exactly. I don't have any that I know of yet planned for next week. But if anything crops up, I'll just let you know, and we can see if we can kind of slide it into your schedule, and we'll get you up into an attic from there. But
I'll wear a helmet, maybe some knee pads, elbow pads.
Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. If you are going to get into your attic, walk along, I'll just call them your floor supports, right? Because I don't want to use any technical terms. You're going to see or feel, because you may not be able to see it because of your insulation, but there's going to be boards running along the floor of your attic, which would be the ceiling of your home. If you step anywhere else, you're probably going to go through and fall, and I don't know, hopefully you land in a bedroom on a bed or something. Yeah, I've seen it happen.
I just got an image in my head. Okay, so a little off tangent here, but have you ever watched the show Smart Guy?
Smart Guy, no.
Well, in the show, so it's like a dad and 2 kids. And then the dad and the little boy were making like a bathroom in the upstairs house, and they were trying to make the girl her own bathroom, and eventually they started having problems, and then later on he just falls through the entire house in the bathtub. So I just got that image in my head when you were talking about that.
It is common. I've had projects where an accident will happen. It happens. No one's perfect. Homeowners getting some attic work done. All of a sudden, they see a foot come through their ceiling. It happens. We always fix it, and we have great drywaller connections to make sure that happens. But I've not for this company, but a company that I worked for before, there was a gentleman who just, I didn't know how much he was trained or lack thereof, but he ended up just taking a full weighted step onto the drywall. Ooh. And it was the garage that he fell into. Ooh. Yeah. Was not good. And I think that was the day I think he figured out that this kind of wasn't his line of work. So once again, if you're going to get up there, please be safe. I've even had people take a small piece of, plywood to lay down across the supports so you know where you're going to be able to walk, or just feel around every single step. And the main way that you know where those supports are is if you take a look at the rafters. They're always going to line up where your floor supports are, because that's where they're going to be attached. Mm. So joists, if you will, and I definitely will. So we're going to get you into an attic. You're not going to fall through. You're going to be very well educated beforehand. Mm-hmm. You got to get you a headlamp too.
Cool.
That, and we'll probably bring the Canon with us too. You think?
Yeah.
Probably a good idea.
Well, we also have like the tiny digi film thing. I don't know.
GoPro?
I think it's a GoPro.
Is it GoPro?
It's the same brand as the drone, I believe.
DJI. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have to get some content out of that.
For sure.
Once again, I say preferably the next prospect that you want in terms of a home, we go inspect it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Might be a while, but
that's fine. That's
we'll
fine.
See.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you take as long as you need to, because it'll cool down for both of us.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Who's our sponsor this week?
The cement people across the street.
That's so bad. I don't know who they are. I would say.
Isn't it just like cement? I think that's what they're
cement?
Called. Yeah, or something like that.
Today's sponsor is cement, by the way. I'm not sure how to plug cement, but it's a great product, and
keeps your driveway looking
solid, pretty solid. It will hold your car for sure, and maybe even a basketball hoop.
Moose Roofing isn't just another roofing company. We're not just building roofs, we're building relationships. As your local roofing experts, we take pride in being part of the community. Trust us to keep you safe and dry season after season. Moose Roofing, your full roofing needs solution company.
See the red light?
Yeah.
Good?
Should be.
All right.
I don't know. They don't have any signals on them.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell when it's looking at you if it's recording you.
Can't rotate the screen. Sony.
Yeah, come on, guys.
Get yourself together here. Come on.
Yeah. All right.
I'm sure they have it in the new cameras.
They probably do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just saying stuff.
That's kind of what our position here is. We just kind of say stuff.
Yep.
And then we get questions asked at us, and then we must answer them clearly. So do we have Q&As for this week?
Yes.
By the way, shout out to Tony, by the way.
Tony?
On the production team.
Oh.
He stops me and he goes, I'm a big fan.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He listens to us every week.
We should send him a shirt.
I think he's got enough Moose shirts.
Eventually.
Yeah.
He's the first on the list for sure.
We're going to have a MooseCast shirt.
A MooseCast? That'd be awesome.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Episode 9 questions. Uh-oh.
So, here are questions that I would want us to ask, and then we'll go through as to who answered what.
Okay.
Okay. If a UFO hits your roof, would it be covered by insurance?
I have a lot of inappropriate jokes about particular insurance companies, but I will not say those. I will say this, probably not. It's not storm related. They're worried about wind or hail, and I don't think a UFO would be blown into your home. It would be under its own volition crashing into your home. So that's a negatory.
That's the only question we got.
That's it? No way.
Just kidding. We found some.
Oh,
here.
okay.
What's the craziest thing a homeowner has ever said to you?
Okay. That I can say on the podcast. Okay. That's going to be hard for me to suss out here.
Let's say Bob.
Well, no, it's not even necessarily the person's name.
Oh.
It's more of what they said. It's not a good idea for me to say that here. But that's a good one. We'll come back to that one also.
Okay, well, I can't say anything because, I work in the office. So.
What's the craziest thing a homeowner's ever said to you? And for you, it'd be someone who's owned a home. How about that?
Who's owned a home?
It's a dumb question. I'm so sorry.
Moving on. Would you rather be on a flat roof that's 10 stories high or one with a super steep pitch?
How tall is the super steep pitch one?
It's just super steep.
And it's not as tall. I would rather be on a flat roof that's 10 stories high. For sure.
Yeah, I would be too. A majority of the people said a flat roof that's 10 stories high.
Oh, nice.
Only 33% said a roof with a super steep pitch.
Okay.
But yeah, that's all the questions.
That's it? You're lying.
No, that's all the questions.
We need to get more engagement.
I know. Get it together. Okay, so we're going to play a guessing game. So we talked about a little bit about conspiracy theories.
Oh, no.
And we have to guess who said what. And then we'll look over the answers.
Okay.
So the question was, what's a conspiracy theory that you believe in? Someone said Princess Diana's death was not an accident.
Wow.
That I actually deep dived into that one too.
Did you?
Yeah.
Because of the question?
Huh?
Or did you do it before?
Like when I was on YouTube, I just went down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
I tend to do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
JFK's head just did that. What? Oh, we are supposed to guess who said what. Okay, who said, sorry, I'm like so unprepared. It's been a long day.
It just got so weirdly morbid.
Okay, so who said Princess Diana's death was not an accident?
Who said that?
Yeah, who would be the one to say that?
In the office?
Yeah.
Dale.
You think so?
Dale.
Dale?
Dale. Did he participate in this at all? Or do you know?
I don't know. It can be anyone.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
Dale or Amy?
I don't think Amy would be the one to say that, though. I don't know. Princess Diana's death was not an accident. I feel like Iris would be someone that would say that.
Really?
Yeah.
I'll go with Dale or Amy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We'll go through it and then we'll just...
Okay.
Okay. Next. JFK's head just did that. I don't know what they mean by that.
Without the bullet? Is that what they're talking about? Okay. That just happened. No. I think there's another conspiracy altogether, but which I would say, and I'm not
Who would write that though?
Who would write that?
I feel like Aaron.
I'm gonna go with Andrew.
Andrew. Okay.
Yeah, I'll go with Andrew.
Anyone in the production team.
Yeah,
for
they would
sure.
say that.
Because they're just like, it just did that.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't say much about the whole thing, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know what that other one means.
Okay. Yeah. Well.
Okay. Pass.
We work with some characters.
The Illuminati. I feel like Trey.
That would be Trey.
You think? Yeah,
That
I
would be
think
Trey.
Trey.
That would be Trey.
Like straightforward,
Mhm.
you know. Okay. Aliens walk among us. I feel
Interesting.
like Amy would say that.
I'm gonna change my prior answer
Okay.
to the Illuminati was Ryan,
Oh.
and the aliens walk among us is Iris.
Oh, okay. That's a good guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think, yeah. Yeah. I'm
Mhm.
going with Ryan for the Illuminati.
Okay,
And-
you're taking Trey off that one.
And Trey with Aliens Walk Among Us.
Okay, we're probably so wrong. Do we have the
Yeah.
answers too?
We do, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Do you want to look at the answers now or do you want to go through it?
Oh, let's do it section by section.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll go back. Oh, Josie said Princess Diana's death was not an accident.
Okay.
I could see it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
definitely.
Mhm.
Okay. Someone said that's confidential.
Wow.
For the JFK?
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Bill said the next one.
Okay.
Anthony.
Oh,
Tony
Tony's
said
the Illuminati man.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I could see that.
Randy was
He didn't answer the first one.
nope. Andrew.
Ah,
Aliens Walk Among Us.
okay. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting. Interesting. What do you think? Did you expect those
No.
I did not.
October.
Yeah.
It's here.
Mm-hmm.
Has come.
Yes.
We're in the middle of it.
Yep.
Actually, at the beginning of it.
Yeah.
So, what are your plans for
But we're
October?
not in the middle of it.
I said we're not in the middle of it. We're at the beginning of it.
Oh yeah.
But what are your plans for October?
I want to go to the haunted houses. I go to majority of them in the month of October.
So do you, because I've never been a big haunted house guy,
Wow.
but are there one, because you go to all of them around here?
Most of them, yeah.
There is the haunted house of hell. There's probably a cornfield somewhere.
Yep.
Okay. And that's all I got.
Man.
So are there any ones that you like more than others that you would recommend to me as someone who's not crazy into them?
Wait, what? Okay, so what? Why are you not crazy into it? Are you like?
For me,
scared?
no, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. I know there's going to be a guy in a chainsaw. He's going to be coming up
Right.
from whoever's in the
Yeah.
back. There's going to be somebody from the side who's going to grab somebody in the middle of the crowd.
Mhm.
There's always kind of the recurring theme of just dude in a mask, jump scare type things.
Sure.
So I kind of rode that ride, bought the t-shirt and kind of never did it again.
Gotcha.
But I'm
it's
willing.
expected.
It's expected.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
if there are any ones you would recommend,
Which ones have you gone to?
none here.
None here.
None here.
Okay. So I've gone to, like I said, I've gone to majority of them. I've gone to Haunted House of Hell.
Mhm.
I've gone to Blood Rush,
Mhm.
which is the same company, only in different locations.
Okay. Yeah.
And then I've gone to Scary Acres.
Okay.
I've gone to, there's one in Council Bluffs. I can't remember, but it was like a last minute thing. And we just like headed that way. But that one was pretty good. I'll put all of the ones that I've gone to here. The one that I'd say kind of gets me the most is Blood Rush.
Do they switch it up year over year? Or do they kind of have the same?
Well, the thing is, this is like the first time that I've gone to all of them.
Oh.
So last year was the first time that I've hit all of them. A couple years ago, I was only able to go to a certain few. But for right now, it seems like they kind of do the same thing. But I will be kind of looking at it this year too.
Through a different lens?
Yeah, through a different lens and see like what difference there is.
So that's what I'll do then is I'll have you do your reviews. You give me your recommendation and I'll go.
Okay, great.
I'll do that.
Cool.
Scary movies though. I love classics. Well, I mean, do you do the whole like let's pick a bunch of scary movies in the month of October and just marathon them, or how do you go about it?
Yeah, we just kind of just pick the ones we like, and then ones that we are like curious about, especially if there's some that are coming out.
Yeah.
And then we try to like add it to our schedules.
Okay.
So it's not a marathon. It's more like, oh, we want to watch it, we'll watch it.
Scary movie night. Yeah.
Yeah. So things like that.
So are there ones that are standbys that you pretty much hit every time?
Yeah, just basically the classics, I would say. There is one that I tend to kind of lean towards, and that's Talk to Me. It's like an indie film. One's really good. I've
never seen that.
Highly recommend. I think it was like two Australian brothers or friends that came up with the idea of the film because of a actual like tragic accident that happened in their life, and so like they kind of got inspired by it. But that one's a good one. Talk to Me. 3
that I normally hit every October. The Thing, the original.
That one's good.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. The first Alien movie.
Never seen it.
It's old, but it's very constrained.
Right.
One alien, one ship. Sigourney Weaver.
What do you think about the new one that came out?
I didn't see it yet.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
I watched some of the later ones and I feel like they're kind of doing a little much. But anyway.
Yeah, I saw the trailer while I was at the movies, and it just spoiled the whole thing for me.
Most trailers will do that nowadays.
It's so annoying. So annoying.
It's like I've just watched the whole movie by watching a 2-minute trailer.
There's a new one. Okay, I'm going off tangent, of course. But like, there's a new one that I watched, and it's not even like Halloween, at all. But
yeah,
it's called Brothers on Amazon Prime, and it has Peter Dinklage. That guy.
Yeah.
He stars in it alongside Brendan Fraser.
Okay.
And someone else, the guy that plays what's his name? The one with in the Marvel movies.
Josh Brolin.
Yes.
Thanos.
Yes.
Yep.
Thanos.
Okay.
So they're all in it, and so I'm watching.
Just snapping the Marvel guy.
That's all I can think of. So, like, I'm watching this trailer, and eventually I start noticing, oh man, they're spoiling the entire thing. I better cut it. So I stopped halfway through because it looked really good.
Yeah.
It's called Brothers on Amazon.
Okay.
I don't know if it's out yet, but it looks really good.
This next one, I recommend. If you've never seen it, Event Horizon. Have you ever seen Event Horizon?
No.
I don't even want to say anything about it. Just watch it. It's got, what's his name? Sam Harris. I don't want to say Sam Harris. It's something else. The guy from Jurassic Park.
The new one?
No, the original. Sam, what's his face? And I cannot remember his last name. It's got Lawrence Fishburne, Sam, what's his face, spaceship. Everything goes wrong. It's a trip. It's a trip of a movie. It didn't do very well in theaters whenever it first came out, way back in the day, but it kind of gained a cult following whenever it came out on VHS at the time and then DVD.
Like most classics,
Exactly.
Movies.
So Event Horizon, if you don't watch any other scary movie this, I was about to say holiday season,
Not yet.
this Halloween season, watch Event Horizon. You'll be surprised, I think. Okay. That, and of course, I think the Witch is a really good scary movie.
Yeah.
But
I want to see movies that like actually freak me out. Like even if it's like just the
Event
theme
Horizon.
Or like the message. Like I want to be spooked.
Yeah, I like the lingering creepy rather than the jump scare kind of. But yeah, Event Horizon has all that.
Oh, okay.
It's
I'll
good.
have to put it on my list.
Cool. Do you have any other scary movies?
No.
All right. You put You put pumpkin patch in a question mark.
Yeah, October.
October. Do you go to pumpkin patches normally, or?
We have gone to Vala's.
Vala's.
Yeah, it's like the big Disney version of a pumpkin patch here in town.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that.
It's huge. And I've gone there. It's expensive though. I think the prices went up to like $50.
To walk in?
Yep.
To look at pumpkins.
Well, you don't look at pumpkins,
What
but like it's like a sort of like a theme park. It's like a theme park pumpkin patch. Like they have rides for the kids, and then like they have like a petting zoo. It's mostly for like little kids, I would say.
Okay.
So it's not like the first thing I would do in October. I usually look for like, okay, where's the next haunted house?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you're a haunted house kind of gal. I got you.
Yeah. Also, speaking of haunted house, have you been to the Museum of Shadows in town?
No.
Do you like spooky things?
Sure.
I recommend going there, especially during the month of October, because, and if you don't know what the Museum of Shadows is, it's like an actual museum of haunted
artifacts,
items and artifacts.
Nice.
And so I went there a couple of times, and it's a different experience every time.
Really?
The first time I went, I can't remember if it was it was like on a double date. And the second, and then, what am I saying here? Okay, so I went down to the, I went to the down to the basement, and the basement is what contains the most evil artifacts.
Okay.
And they have this doll that's chained up in like its own room, and apparently you have to ask permission to go inside, and then you have to cleanse yourself off with like holy water. Okay. It sounds ridiculous, I know it does, but when I was down in the basement, I felt like passing out.
Whoa.
Like I felt fatigued, and I wasn't the only one going through it. Like my friend was going through it too. And we just had to go upstairs to like get some fresh air, because I felt like all of me was like slowly
draining.
Wow. Yeah.
So I would totally be into that.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But you made me think of another, like, I don't want to call it a pet peeve or anything.
Right.
Ghost hunting shows.
Oh yeah.
They are the pinnacle of comedy for me. Because it's always the same thing. They go in and it's always, did you hear that? Or it's, you feel that? It's really cold, like right here. Like, okay.
Like I can't just like.
And it's so funny because they're so, I say they're so popular. I mean, there was a time where they were just on fire. They were really, really popular.
Like Ghost Adventures, or
the guy in the affliction shirt that would just
Hunters.
He would kind of bro down with ghosts and like want to fight him and stuff.
Yeah.
But there was all of those shows. They're all the same. It's so funny because we're just watching people on night vision camera just like get kind of spooked out and say it's cold somewhere and go, did you hear that? Just repeatedly over and over again, but nothing ever happens.
Yes, I agree.
Nothing ever happens.
They have so many of those on YouTube, and it's the same thing. Like they either scream, they either freak out, they cuss a lot, and then like they're like, "Did you see that?" And I'm just like, rewinds it, and nothing happens.
Nothing happens.
Like, it's just come on.
Sorry, whenever you said when you felt drained or fatigued, that's totally different, and that's something I guess you have to go in and experience yourself, which I would like to do that.
Yeah, and they do have ghost hunting at like past midnight that you can come like join. And
you get one of those like spectrometers. I want to bring like, that is a good idea. We should be Ghostbusters for Halloween.
Oh man, I already have my costume picked out.
Don't tell the
I'm
people.
Not changing.
Don't. Give it away.
Well, yeah, we're gonna talk about it here.
We are.
But I'm firm on my costume.
And she's going as a. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not gonna tell anybody.
I was gonna say.
So, do I have plans to decorate for the fall season?
Well,
do I? Do you?
More on the lines of like.
Oh, us.
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to go fall or do you want to go spooky?
Fall.
Okay.
I would like to go spooky.
For one episode.
For one episode.
Okay, let's do that. So, should we?
Well, I mean, like, definitely change up the colors. We have green and brown going on. And we want to stick to, well, I guess fall has brown too.
Yeah.
So maybe like more comfiness.
Have a cornucopia right here.
Right. And then some like pumpkins or some leaves.
Okay.
That's what I consider decorating.
So it'll be 1.5 trips back to Goodwill.
Yes.
And then we'll get this thing decorated.
Yes.
Speaking of decorated, speaking of all of this that we're talking about, the set, if you will, we got one more episode for this season. Did you guys even know that we're doing seasons?
Probably not.
Did we reveal that?
No.
We
did mention it a couple of times throughout the episode, like, oh, the season, like the word.
Oh.
But we haven't really gotten into
Did
depth
it sink
before.
in? Did they catch it? Do you think so? I don't know. I don't care because we're doing it anyway.
Yes.
So this is episode 9. Episode 10 will be our final season, or our season finale, rather.
I was gonna say.
We're getting canceled, actually. No. It'll be our final episode of the season. And I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited.
Yeah.
We've mulled over some ideas. I don't want to give anything away, but it could be fun. It could be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we could go out more.
Yeah. Get out in the field because we're going to be getting into the winter. So a lot more attic stuff, more than likely. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Episode 10, season finale. Are we going to do the season finale and actually maybe eat something? You think?
We could.
Uh-huh.
I think we've been getting good at scheduling ourselves.
We have.
Yeah.
It's been getting better.
Now, when it comes to like posting every other Friday, I think that will continue on just for a bit.
Okay.
Just because I feel like with those kinds of ideas, we need a lot more time to prepare.
Yeah.
Because you've seen the last couple of ones, like once we get food, we just start eating.
We just start eating and it just devolves into you just watching us eat. Unless that's what you're into.
I mean, hey, good for you. But
absolutely. You're sick and you need help. That being said, well, we kind of already blew the lead on this one here, but
did you talk about the special Halloween episode?
Well, I kind of did.
That's gonna happen.
We're gonna do that.
It's not gonna be part of the season, but for sure it'll be fun.
Yes. We will be here for Halloween, on Halloween, for you. Are we gonna release it on Halloween?
We can.
Okay.
I think that'd be fun.
What?
I feel like a lot of people will be out trick-or-treating though.
True. Day before Halloween. TBD. Either way. So what would we like to do in season 2? We've already talked about that a little bit here, but we're going to end on that here. Right. So going into season 2, I know that there's going to be some changes around here that I'm not going to talk about yet because I don't want to give it away. But I think getting us out, getting more content out and about than us having our butts go numb in these seats here, I think that's going to be beneficial for everybody. Yeah. Everybody involved here. So that's going to be at least our tentative plan, unless you have any other ideas.
Well, I have plenty of ideas, but will they get,
you don't want to bring them up because you don't want to have to.
No, I can bring them up.
Okay.
I'm just wondering, is it doable?
What are they?
Well, I was looking at the layout of this room. And the TV is kind of like, now that I'm looking at it, it's kind of at an awkward place. Especially when we have guests. So, this is what I'm hoping for.
What do you think?
Like flipping the table so that we're facing the TV.
Oh,
so that if we're like presenting something on the TV, we're not like breaking our necks.
We're like looking. Okay. Yeah.
Like we could have the camera in front still.
And then the set would be there.
Yeah.
And then we'd have to move the lights there.
Oh, yeah, that's true, huh? That's a lot of work.
Well, maybe not, though, because we do have that thing over there that can hold one of these lights.
Right.
And we'll figure it out. Either way, there's going to be some changes coming for the better because we've learned a lot of lessons, but there's been one lesson we haven't quite gotten down yet. Do you know what that is?
The outro.
No, I was going to say the record on these Sony cameras. But that being said,
these Sonys are gonna be
the death of Cindy. I think it's funny. It's fine by me. That being said, let's get to this outro. Would you like me to do it, or would you like yourself to do it?
Yourself could do it.
Is that you? Or is that... Either way, this has been episode 9. I do remember how many episodes we've done of this, by the way, of the MooseCast. I have been and always will be forever and ever yours, Danny, project manager here at Moose. She is and always ever will be Cindy. Please, if you wouldn't mind, there's some buttons below us right now. Normally on whatever platform you're going to be looking at or watching us on, press all of them. If there's a thumb there, press that. Up or down, who cares? You know, just press a thumb. If there's a subscribe button, tap on that. If there is a comment section, those are always appreciated as well. A little more effort from you whenever it comes to that, but any comment would be greatly appreciated, positive or negative. That being said, follow us, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, all Moose Roofing. You can find us anything to do with Moose Roofing. Just type in the search function. It's 2024. You know how to use these things. But anything else I'm missing here? Spotify. How could I ever forget the creeps that just like to listen to us?
Yeah, if you don't like watching long videos, you can listen to us on Spotify.
There we go.
That's cool too.
That is. So, if that is it, we are one more episode away for season 1, season finale next, guys. Stay tuned. We're excited. You should be. And if you're not, I'm going to come find you. But in the meantime, smooches. Love ya. Always. Bye-bye. You did the thing.
Mm-hmm.